No, absolutely not. I think I go with the first suggestion that yes, it is a regional war. It's not nothing less than that. Because see, the objective of the whole region is rich in resources in oil, gas, and there is also the American centric is only this gas and oil plus Israel hegemony in that part of the world. So therefore, what we have seen over the years that Israel have been able to control of all of Palestine, Gaza strips, destroy Syria, and also destroy even their defenses of Syria and all, and also targeting Iraq. And now they are saying that since Netanyahu is facing problem in the Israeli prime minister in his own country, so diverting the attention from not ending Gaza war into another regional war is that's what he has been hoping for. And if we go by the Israeli media, they have already been stating that Israel have been planning, Netanyahu have been planning this operation the last 8 months, and he chose only the right time when the American and the Iranian were discussing, and there was a sixth round in Oman. So therefore, a regional war is very much on the card, and I don't see any near end to this war. Well, absolutely. I believe that this is a regional war, and we know the importance of Iran and the geopolitical importance of Iran in this part of the world. If it is north-south corridors of the passage from there comes, or is it because of the Strait of Hormuz, where you have 34% of the global oil goes from there and mainly into India and China, Japan, and South Korea. So therefore, the first impact will be on the people of that region. India will be the biggest loser, not only in terms of food and oil security, but also in terms of the expats, where you're having 90 lakh Indian living in the GCC, and God forbid, if a war break, it will be a horrendous, Hercules kind of a challenge for India to cope with the development. Therefore, I think we should put an end to this war. Israel started this war. Let's be very frank about it and saying the truth here. We know a sovereign nation had been attacked by another nation who is a nuclear, undeclared nuclear state, claiming that the other state, Iran, is having ambition of having a nuclear state, and telling the United States that they wanted to end this ambition of Iran, while they're targeting more than 300 targets, has nothing to do with the nuclear installation. In fact, they have been attacking military installation, they have been attacking civilian. We have seen more than 60 civilians have been killed in Tehran, and more than 20 kids have been slaughtered, and still they are taking their dead body out of the debris. So I think it's the failure of the United Nations to end this kind of a mess, if ever the United Nations is in a position to stop the war and for what it was formed at the beginning. So it has just become a redundant body that they cannot handle any international issue, name it in Gaza or in Syria or in Iraq or Libya or anywhere else in the world. They're just provoking and creating more havoc rather than helping the United Nations in ending this kind of war. So I don't see anything finishing this area, and there will be a global impact on the peace and security, especially if Iran start attacking the Dimona nuclear site of Israel, and Israel already attacked the nuclear site of Iran for the civil use, and there is leakage of radiation. That means if there will be a wider of the war at one side and the other side, it will push the American and the Israelis into a using of a nuclear tactical bomb against Iran if this war does not stop. Well, I would be naive to give the American a clean sheet that they have not been involved. Let's be very frank. The whole war in the Middle East created by Israel on behalf of the Americans. So not only to say that Iran have a proxy in the Arab world, but also America have a proxy named Israel that they have been attacking this part of the world and destabilizing it. Who created more destabilization in West Asia or in the rest of the world? I mean, history can tell us that it is the United States, which attacked more than 95 countries ever since its existence 300 years ago. So let's say American have a full knowledge of the war. Even the American president knew about it, and he pulled most of the relatives of the American Marines from the Gulf states because they have more than 40,000 American troops stationed on those countries. So why he removed them when he knew that there was no war? He just said that the Israeli told him, let's go to the negotiation on Sunday with the American. And if the fail, we will go for the war. And that impression was given to the Iranian, and that's why they were taking off guard. And Israel have taken the full advantage and preemptive strike on the Iranian, hoping that this will bring the regime change. So the regime change is not happening. So the whole objective of the war, of a changing a regime, as per the American policy, which has been there for more than 3 decades now, we have seen regime change policy in the United States. Now, maybe President Trump wanted to end the war of Russia and Ukraine, not because of the love of Russia, no, because they wanted to distance Russia from China. The America looking for a war against China in the near future. So Middle East have been handled and given the free hand of the Israelis, or to the cuddle boy, or the spoiled, or the brat, who is continuously attacking countries after countries, hoping that Netanyahu, his political career, can continue as long as there are war in the region. This is nobody can beat the Israelis and the world mass deceptions. They have been deceiving the world for the last 74 years, that they are a victim in the Middle East. If you look at the Israeli map, it is totally expanding at the coast of its neighbor, naming the Palestinian or the Syrian. Now they have already conquered 65 deep inside Syrian territories. If you are a victim, definitely you are not going to conquer and expand at the cost of your neighbor. So therefore, you can't glorify or justify a thief stealing the land of others and saying that justifying attacking another nation. By the way, who gave Israel the right of attacking another nation on this behalf, or the American? There is an international law. There is an international law to follow. There is international nuclear agency, which have already, the agency said that we wanted a peaceful solution. There was a deal already signed with the American, 5+1, also the Germany, plus the 5 countries of European Union, and they were all signed the agreement with Iran for a peaceful solution to the crisis. American president pulled out. Again, he wanted to reach a sort of a deal with the Iranian on his own term and dictation, because Israel is not happy. But anybody focusing or pinpointing at Israel, who is having more than 150 nuclear heads and never declared itself as a nuclear state, yet there's nobody there to talk about their arsenal. But because some country having ambition of may go for a bomb, you are ready to go and justify the destruction. Mr. Netanyahu, when he talked about Saddam Hussein, you remember when Saddam Hussein was in power, it was Mr. Netanyahu, the prime minister of Israel that time, where he said removing Saddam Hussein will be safer for the world. Saddam Hussein can make the bomb in 30 minutes. What happened? There was a farce. Even the American admitted it was false flag, and there was no bomb in Iraq, weapon of mass destruction. It is weapon of mass deception. And again, they went to Libya in the same manner. So the same thing he said against Gaddafi, the same thing he said against Assad. Now the same thing he's saying against Iran. So are we following Israel, or Israel should follow the international law and abide as a state which is recognized by the UN? Only the first resolution of the UN came out to existence is to recognize two-state solution. Why don't you solve the Palestinian problem? Sit and coexist with your neighbor. We want peace in the region. We are not advocate of war. And this has to put an end to the perpetual provocation for continuous war. This was actually the objective of the war, because what Mr. Netanyahu have given to the President Trump, that he's only attacking the nuclear side of Iran so they can derail their nuclear ambition. But at the end of the day, we noticed that 300 targets have been subjected, even civilian have been attacked, even nuclear scientists have been killed, even civilian area has been targeted, and military establishment. So he was hoping and aiming that with this complex operation that he started from inside Iran, from the seaside, from the ballistic missile launching and the air strike, that he can bring the regime down. I think he did the contrary. I can tell you, most of the Iranians whom I know and who were in the opposition, now they are definitely rallying behind the government, because they feel it is happening here is the only Iran is left in this region. The moment Iran fall into the hand of the Israeli and the American, trust me, the whole West Asia is already in the hand of the American and the Russian. And the first country to suffer is India and the whole of the South and Southeast Asian region also.